Shall we look at the front pages? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The front and back pages of pretty much all the newspapers are dominated by Emma Raducanu. The Daily Mail speculates that she's in line for a career earnings of £150 million and also a New Year honour.
The back page of The Guardian has a close-up of Emma Raducanu kissing the US Open trophy and the quote saying that she's just loving life.
Such fun, wasn't it? Wasn't it brilliant to watch? The Telegraph gives half of its front page to a photo of her as well. But its main story is a report that the Prime Minister is planning to rip up many COVID restrictions and abolish the traffic light system for foreign travel.
And Cancer Test Revolution is the headline on the Daily Mirror of their front page this morning as they report on trials of a new blood test that is thought to be able to detect more than 50 cancers before symptoms appear. As you said, Raducanu is basically everywhere.
Isn't she? Lovely pictures.
There is lots to talk about, you know, the money that she could earn, but also I think lots of people appreciating that how hard it is to play with sort of that level of sort of abandon during the tour.
Panache.
And then when it's all on, panache is a great word, when it's all on and it's so important and it's a final, to keep playing that way is so hard to do. And also that in her post-match interview, the way that she spoke, like, just quite so measured and sort of, yeah, this is great, and what's next?
Maybe being 18 sort of helps. I don't know.
Maybe that does help, yeah.
Anyway, we're talking about her throughout the programme this morning. There was lots. I mean, there was that on the weekend. There was loads of sport, wasn't there? There was the Great North Run, lots of different events all over the place, actually. This is about the Brighton Marathon. So thousands of runners doing the Brighton Marathon. And they found, I'm sorry, I've drawn on it, they found that 7,500 of them had run too far. It was actually measured wrong. It was 568 metres too long yesterday, apparently.
Oh, dear.
But I mean, to be honest with you, that's one thing. There's quite another when beforehand, in 2017, runners called for refunds and discounts after it emerged that a half marathon had been too short since 2015.
Oh dear.
So, I mean, as somebody who has run some very slow marathons, I'd rather run a longer one than actually not run the marathon by however many metres it is.
One of those things, isn't it? If you run a marathon and it's not your best time, and then you go to the organiser and say, "Excuse me, is that correct?"
Yeah, but if you run what you think is a marathon and it's not, for me, that's worse.
I can understand that that would
anyway,
be quite.
They don't seem to be too upset about it. But yeah, if you wanted to go for a good time, maybe you didn't.
As if running 26.2 miles isn't far enough, participants at the Brighton Marathon yesterday, Louise was talking about this earlier, got a bit more than they signed up for when the course ended up being slightly longer than they thought. Organisers did realise that the route was a third of a mile longer. That's what it's supposed to be, but the mistake was only spotted afterwards. They apologised after they realised the route was a third of a mile longer, and not sure how that affects anybody who's actually run it, but as Louise was saying earlier, it's a bit annoying if you're sort of timing yourself and you work out that you're nowhere near where you need to be. Yeah,
you can send us your point of view on this. I mean, I think less annoying than thinking you've run a whole marathon and actually you haven't, because, you know, that's the thing, isn't it?
But you get that moment at least of thinking, oh, that's a very good time, and then you realise you're not quite run far enough.
It's not all about times, you see. For me, it's about just getting to the end.
Yeah, I have no sort of long-distance mindset, so I defer to you on these issues.
That's just a personal thing.